Sandy here. Welcome back to part 4 of the Christmas Dreams album that will fit inside of the book box that we've already I've already done the tutorial on. So this is the book, the album that goes in the book box. We've already done page set 1 and page set 2, and of course the inside of the cover. Set this aside, and we're going to start on page set 3 on the front. And also we'll be doing page set 4 for sure in this video. So I'm going to go over with you some of the pieces, because some of these we can go ahead and cut ahead for the other pages. Okay, so page set 3 is going to need one of your tags, whether you're using the Graphic 45 tag or you're cutting it out with a Heartfelt Dies tag. This is a 4x6 tag, so we need one of these for the front of page set 3. Then we're going to cut some flaps, and we need one that is 7x8 and one that is 6.5 by 8.5. So let me see which one of these is which. This is the 7x8, and the second one here is the 6.5 by 8. And then for a pocket, we need one that is 7.5 by 3.5. So this is for the front side of page set 3. Now on the back side of page set 3, it's going to be very, very simple. It's just going to be a belly band with a flap, and it's a flat belly band, and you need a piece of cardstock from your scraps that you can cut that is 8 inches by 1.5 inches, and then we need a little flap that goes with that is 4.5 by 2 3/4. Now, when you cut this from your scraps, go ahead and cut a second set, just exactly the same, 8 inches by 1.5 and 4.5 by 2 3/4, because that's going to be for the front of page set 4, because they're going to match. Okay. Now, for these flaps here and for the scraps that I use, you do need 2 more full sheets of the 12 by 12 artisan cardstock. So this is my page set 3 here that we're going to be building on. So we've already cut those. If you want to go ahead for your back of your page set 4, it is going to be exactly the same as the front of page set 2. And for that, we need 2 of the tags punched out, or 2 more tags that are 4x6. So you need 2 of these. They're going to be tag flaps. And then we need to make the pockets, which we need 2 that are 5 3/4 by 5. So that's what this is for. This is for the back of page set 4. So I have that. And then I hope to go ahead in this video and get page set 5 done. So on the front of page set 5, we're going to need another 4x6 tag for a flap. And then we need full page flaps that are a 7x8. Now this is exactly the same as page set 3, the front of it. So you need one that is 7x8 and one that's 6.5 by 8.5. And again, another pocket that is 7.5 by 3.5. So if you go ahead and cut all those and get those ready to work with, it'll make it so much faster. So this will be added to the cutting list that I have in my Google Docs that you can print up or open up and look. So let's take, let's set aside our page, and let's take our page set 3 front, and we're going to take our tag, and we're going to put it in the 6-inch length at the top, and here on the bottom, we're going to score at 2 inches. Okay. And then for the full-size page flaps, we're going to take the 7x8. I'm just making sure I have the right one. 8 inches by 7. Okay. We'll take the 7x8. We're going to score our 7-inch side at a 1/2 inch. Score the 7-inch side at a 1/2 inch. Then take your 6.5 by 8.5 piece, and we're going to score this, the 8.5 side, at a 1/2 inch. So this is going to be a top lifting flap. So score that. You have that scored, and then we need the pocket. Take your pocket, which is 7.5 by 3.5, and we're going to score our 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 7. Turn and score your 3.5 inch side at 1/2 inch to make a pocket. And we're going to put this together first before we go on to anything else. So let's get our bone folder so we can burnish our score lines. And I need my little scissors here on the pocket. Again, where they intersect here in the corner, we're going to make a diagonal cut right across the intersection so that these do not intersect or lay on top of each other. We want these to just match up. So go ahead and fold and burnish those score lines and double check them, make sure it's going to lay. And I did change this up just a tad from the original album. It was just a small flap, and I decided it was better to have a pocket than a flap. And then I left out another flap that I felt was not, had no purpose to it, to save on our cardstock. So here, let's fold these score lines. And this one. And then this 2-inch line here, just fold this one to make our tag flap closure. Okay, so let's take our page, and we're going to make sure our flap is to the left with our opening here, sleeve on the right. Okay, I'm going to put these flaps on first. This one goes on at the top. And we're going to make it attach so that it goes all the way to the cut edge of the page. So I'm going to take my glue. Put glue on the back side of your hinge or your attachment flap here. And we're going to turn this so we can put it along the fold of the top of the page, right along the cut edge over here. We want it nice and even. And then we burnish that down. And before we get it burnished down good, let's make sure we've got it lined up good. Okay, burnish. I'll lift that up. Okay, so the next we're going to put our page here on the right flap. And I'm going to make an angle cut, miter cut here at the top, just in that 1/2 inch, to kind of take away some of that thickness there. And we could have done that on the other one before we attached it down. But let's put our glue on the 1/2 inch on the back. And this is going to go, the fold of this, right along the edge here, whoops, of our page. So it should be within that fold up there, and then right here along the bottom of the page. Flap goes here on the left. So I'm going to open this up, put the glue on the 2-inch on the back, and I'm going to center this about in the center here, and the fold along the fold of the hinge. Burnish that. Now then, our pocket is going to go within here, but we're going to wait and put our pattern paper on first before we attach it in. So this now on the back side is your flat belly band and a flap. So we take, there'll be no scoring on this piece here. We're going to take our scoreboard and our little flat piece here that's 4.5 by 2 3/4, and we're going to put the 4.5 in at the top, score it 1/2 inch. Now then, if you want to do something to the corners of this, I'm going to use a stub punch. So the two corners opposite of the score line, I'm just going to stub punch those, just like that. Fold this and burnish. Now this is going to attach to this right here. So I'm going to put some glue on the inside of this little flap. Take my belly band and I'm just going to put the fold of the flap right up against the back side of that belly band. And then so nothing hangs when I'm sliding it in and out, I'm going to put some tape over this little hinge section here, just like that. So that makes it smoother so nothing hangs. And this will attach to the page, so we'll be doing some pattern paper next. Let's go ahead before we do our pattern paper. So that's page set 3. So this goes back here. Let's grab our page set 4. Hinges on the left here, opening to the right. And this is going to have a belly band that matches it flat. And we're going to have this piece here. So let's score this. Again, on the 4.5 side, we score it 1/2 inch. Okay. And then we're going to stub punch the two opposite corners. Fold this up, burnish that. Now this is going to go on the opposites, but I want from the top about the same amount of distance. So that's about 1.25 inches from the top. And I'll put my glue on the inside of the flap. I'm going to put this down here about 1.25 inches from the top edge. There we go, and make sure it goes into the fold and burnish that down. Oops, it kind of slipped. We don't want that, we want it in the fold. And then again, I'm going to turn it over, burnish it, and put my tape right there to keep it from snagging. So this page is really easy. It's going to be mostly adding our pattern paper to finish these, but see on this one, it's going to be on the opposite like this. We're going to flip this over to the back of page set 4. And it's going to be the same as your page set 2 with your pockets and your flaps. So we have our 2 flaps, tag flaps, and our 2 pocket pieces and our scoreboard. So I'm just going to slide this over so I don't get it out of order and grab the scoreboard again. And we're going to do the pockets. These are 5 3/4 by 5, and we're going to score our 5-inch side at 1/2 inch. We're going to score our 2 pockets, the 5-inch side at 1/2 inch and 4.5. Then turn and score your 5 3/4 side at just a 1/2 inch. And we'll do that on both of these. 5 inch in, score at a 1/2 inch. And at 4 1/2. Turn and score at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so those are pockets, and we're going to cut where they intersect at an angle. Just kind of miter across there. Okay, and we're going to fold up these edges and burnish them, the 1/2 inch score lines, and then double check down here at the bottom to make sure it's not intersecting. To make the pocket, do that on both of them. Let's see here, this one just needs a little bit of trimming. Didn't get it trimmed enough. Okay, there we go. Maybe this one a little bit more. Okay, so there's the pockets. Then we take the 2 tags, put the 6 inch, the top, and on the bottom edge, we're just going to score at a 1/2 inch because we want these longer, just like we did on page set 2. And then go ahead and fold your score lines. And these are going to go on the back side of page set 4. Flip that over. Page set 5. Let's go ahead and grab that page. And this one's going to be like the one we just did, page set 3. So we're going to take our tag and we're going to score at 2 inches. We're going to take, I hope I cut these correct. I'm going to have to double check this. This is 7 by 8. We're going to score the 7 inch side at a 1/2 inch. Let's see if we cut this right. This one's right. 8 1/2, 6 1/2. So we're going to score the 8 1/2 side at a 1/2 inch. Then for the pocket, the 7 1/2, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 7. Turn, score your 3 1/2 inch side at a 1/2 inch. And then we can put up the scoreboard. And for this pocket, go ahead and trim. And let's burnish that. Now then, you're wondering, well, why didn't we cut some things for the back of page set 5? And the reason is it's going to be fitting really close to the fold of the spine of the album. And I'm just going to leave that as a solid page with just patterned paper and no flaps, no pockets. It's just going to be a nice area for a large photo, like at the end of the book. So of course this is going to all, let's get this, attach on just like we did on the other one. I'm just going to go ahead and get all my burnishing done. Okay. So this is page set 5 on the front. So we have this open this way, and the flap, the hinge is here. And I'm just going to double check how I want to build this up. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to reverse it on this page set. It's to the left. On this one, I'm going to put it on the right. So I'm putting glue here on my tag flap. And I'm going to put it on top of the page. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to put it right along the edge. The hinge is over here on the opposite side, so I've centered it pretty well. This is going to be the closure flap. So leave that open. I'll take the top flap, and I'm going to fit it to the far left. So put the glue on the back. So along the top edge, we're going to fit that up right along the top and make sure it's straight here on this edge here. You don't want it over the fold, but you want it here at the top. And then this one's going to go here on this left side along the fold. Put the glue on your 1/2 inch. Line this up here and here. Make sure it's within the flap here. Pocket, of course, is going to go in after we add everything in. Oh, the pattern paper. Okay, so that's that side, and this side stays plain. And then I'll put a little magnet here. So let's grab our little small ones. We've got a minus and a plus. Pull the backing off. Touch that down right here in the middle of this flap. Put the metal to metal. Pull the other backing off. And with this top flap over, then I'm going to just close this down and press and lift them up. And then take my clear tape and cover the magnets. Okay, so I'm going to go pull my pattern papers, see what I want for this page set on this side, and we'll get this all wrapped, patterned, and get our pocket on and everything. So we'll get that all done. Okay, so I picked out my pattern papers from the Christmas Dreams 12 by 12 paper collection. And I'm going to start with, of course, continuing with page set 3 here, where we just assembled it. And so I have my papers laid out that I'm going to put on that. And while I was cutting, I went ahead and picked out my pattern papers and put them with all the different pages that we're going to be working on in this part of the tutorial, so that I kind of save some time, maybe of stopping the camera and everything. So this is the back of page set 2. And I've picked out papers to go with it to coordinate the same paper images or opposite images of the backgrounds for this to do the page set 3 on the front side. So I'm going to put this aside, and then I'm going to take this one off here, and I'm going to set the rest of these aside till we're ready to work with them, okay? So we've already assembled the front of page set 3, and I have my pattern papers here, so I don't want to get them mixed up. That goes there, and we have the inside, and we have the pocket, which the pocket will go on afterwards. Okay, so for these, I cut everything 1/8 of an inch shorter in width and shorter in height for everything. Cut out, punched out these with the matching die, and then trimmed them down to be a little bit shorter. So to save time, I'm going to speed up the video, and if I remember to type in these measurements, I will, but otherwise just measure, like your section here is 7, so I cut it 6 7/8 wide, and measure the heights. The heights are 8, so that's 7 7/8 tall. Pay attention to the direction of your paper. So I'm going to go ahead, speed up the camera now, and put the pattern papers on this one here. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so there's that pattern. We still have the pocket and the eyelets to do. So I've got an eyelet here, and I've got my crocodile. Use the big size. So I'm going to reach in here and punch that in the center. Drop my eyelet in. Whoops. Using the gold. Push that down a little bit more here. Okay, that's better. Now our gold ribbon here. Okay, we'll trim the ends off a little bit here at an angle. Okay, that gold is just so pretty with that paper. Now then, we're going to open this up and we're going to do our pocket. So this opens up to the top. This one goes to the side. And then we have this here in the center. Now this pocket's going to go more to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pattern paper, so I decided to use the stripe to match what's in the upper part. Now then, because we've patterned this whole thing here, we can put our pocket any spot we want to. Now I have not cut a paper for this side yet because I'm going to wait and see how much paper I have left. Now I'm going to leave this white for photos, or I may put some photo mats or something. So you can move this pocket up or down if you want, but it does need to go to the side so it's hidden in within there, because if you bring it over this way, it's going to be like that. So you could do that if you wanted to, but I'm going to put mine to the side. So I'm putting glue just on the bottom first, and then I'm going to kind of put it up above my little bow here on the left. So it's to the fold here so that it's not hindered right there. So you're going to make sure this part here is straight. There we go. Burnish that. Then I'm going to drop it down, burnish on the inside, and then I'm going to put a piece of tape there so that nothing snags in there. Okay, now we put the glue on the two side attachment flaps here and bring them up. Make sure they're within the area they need to be on. And then we fold that over, and we fold that over, and it's covered up, and then this looks like a package. Isn't that pretty? So now we're ready for the back side of page set 3. Okay, the back of page set 3, make sure everything's turned the right way. So your sleeve pocket is here on your left, your hinge is here on your right, okay? That way you know you have it correct. So this just has a flat belly band. So we cut the paper here, the pattern paper to fit. I'm going to go with the poinsettias. No, actually, I'm going to go with the Santas. Okay. So they're going to go with the Santas like that. So this paper is cut 6 5/8. No, yes. No, 6 7/8, sorry, because this is 7 inches here. 6 7/8 by 7 7/8. So this is going to just fit. You go ahead and you cover the whole page back here. Of course, the poinsettias would be really pretty too, but I do want the Santa. I forgot that that's what I was planning, is to use the Santa print on this. So we center this all up. Pattern this section up. Go ahead and burnish that down. Now then, let's go ahead and pattern this. Got 2 pieces here. Now I'm going to use the poinsettia strip here on the front side. So this is cut at 1 3/8 by 7 7/8. Now we already assembled this, I believe. If not, you just attach this on. I think I double checked. We taped this and everything is attached, already assembled. So you put this as far over as you're wanting it to go. But I'm going to go ahead and add my patterned papers to the front side only. We don't need to pattern the back. And we have Scotch tape over that attachment flap there so that it doesn't snag. So we're just going to pattern this up a little bit, even it out. Whoops. Burnish that. Now we need our punch. So what I'm going to do is use stripe on the front and the back. So I'm just going to, I think I'm going to deco punch the 2 ends on this. And leave it straight on this end. So it's going to be kind of decorative like that. And we'll do it the same deco punch. You use whatever punches you have to do your corners. So this is going to go here. Now I didn't plan it. You could have used a magnet if you wanted to. And because I didn't want to use a lot of magnets. I think I'm just going to leave this like this, loose. And I think it'll be just fine. We can probably put maybe some decorating on it to make it heavier. Because I don't want to use a whole lot of magnets if I don't have to. Now you could do some other kind of closure if you wanted to as well. So there's that. So that's a belly band, and we burnish this down. And then this is going to attach just on the ends right here. So we put glue, turn it over, just put glue on the top and the bottom edge of the belly band and fit that in. I'll put mine about 1.25 inches, I think, from the edge, and it should fit right along the top and bottom edge of your page. Let's just make sure we're straight and burnish. And now we have a place to put a large photo mat, and I like how that turned out. So this right here, you could put another ribbon if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it like this for right now. I may put a pretty button, a heavy button or something there. So that is page set 3. So we lay that aside there. Grab page set 4, the front part, and it's going to match this. It's going to be the exact same thing. So you're going to do the same treatment. We're just going to make it, put it on this side and face that way. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the camera and put these on. Okay, so there's the back of page set 3, front of page set 4, and they go together. I forgot to tell you, make sure your hinge is to the left on page set 4, and your sleeve is to the right. This is the front side. So you see how they match, and they'll be in the book like that together. Okay, so now we're ready to start on the back side of page set 4. Okay, so for the back of page set 4, it's going to be a repeat of what we did for page set 2 on the front side. But I think I'm going to move it a little bit, do it the opposite direction perhaps. So you have your sleeve here to the left and your hinge here to the right, and you're going to cut a piece of pattern paper that is 3 inches by 7 7/8. This is exactly like we did page set 2. Now we're going to put this down first. So I want the images of the children in the snow with the trees. So I'll put this on the back side here, the glue. Whoops. And don't throw it down. On your page, I'll wipe that up just a second. I don't think I got very much on the page. Okay, so let's put this down to the left side, and I'll put it about 1/16 of an inch from the edge. Okay, so burnish that down. Now I have 2 little magnet sets here, 2 pluses and 2 minuses, and then of course we cut the full size tag flaps. You want 2 that are 4 by 6, so I cut mine with the heartfelt tags, and then on the 6-inch side, on the bottom side on each one, I scored at a 1/2 inch. So you're going to want to do that. So I've already done mine. And then you want the 2 pockets. So you need to cut 2 that are 5 3/4 by 5, and you score the 5-inch side at a 1/2, 4 1/2, turn and score the 5 3/4 at a 1/2. On both of these, angle cut, and then we fold it like this. So this is our pockets that are going to go here on this side. Now, before I do that, like I did on the other, I go ahead and angle cut in the 1/2 inch of my tag flaps here from the score line into the 1/2 inch at an angle like that. Okay, so we have that. Then I take my pocket, and on the bottom flap I attached the 1/2 inch of my tag flap. So with glue on the inside here, I put glue on the flap. Then I fit the fold of my pocket, the bottom edge, into the fold of my tag flap and burnish that down so that when they fold under, that they fit pretty good here on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do that on both of these. Right along the fold of the bottom edge of my pocket, and then make sure that they're fitting within each other. And burnish. Now then, we're ready to put the pocket on. So I'm going to put glue just on the bottom edge here. I'm going to fit this right along the fold of the hinge here and make sure that I'm lined up here at the bottom of my page. Pin that up and burnish in there. And then I'm going to put this one here on the same way. Glue on this back flap here on the bottom. Push this one down. I'm going to line these up. Now I could go ahead and put my side pieces on now if I wanted to. And turn this so I can see. And I'm making sure this is flush here on the sides. And that fits together good there. And burnish. And then I'm going to open these both back up. And take my tape. And I'm going to seal that flap so nothing gets stuck in there. Now we can put glue on our side flaps here. Bring this one down. Now we're going to make sure it lines up here on the bottom edge. And right here, go ahead and burnish those down. Okay, the other side. And they should fit in there pretty good. Tight little perfect fit there. So there's those. Now we want to put our magnets on. So let's open up our flaps back. And we're going to take one set, peel the backing off, plus or minus, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to put it, I'm going to go ahead and do it on this left side right here. I don't know if I did that earlier, but about 1/2 inch from the edge at least. Take that backing off, close the flap down, and open it up. And then we put tape on each magnet. Take our other magnet set, peel the backing off of that. And because these are just a single flap, I am using the small magnets instead of the big ones. Don't think we need the big ones on this. And then close that down and lift up. Okay. Now we do our tape. And now we're ready to add our pattern paper to our pocket and to our flaps. So I am going to see how I decided to do these. So I'm going to pause for just a second and see what I cut out. Okay, so I cut out for the pocket the children on their in the snow on their sleds, and I cut it so that when I put this one down, it's a continuation here with the second one on the pocket. So I'll show you. So you have the little girl right here. Well, then her coat continues on the next one. So it's a continuation of that. Okay. And then to add some contrast, a little bit different, I cut out the backs. I want to use the poinsettias that kind of go in the pinks and colors with the, and got little snowflakes in there, so I thought that would be pretty. So I cut these out with the die and then trimmed them on the bottom to fit. So pattern paper, you need 4 cut with the die for the tag. You need 2 for the pockets and then 1 for the big strip here. Okay, so these close down, and now we put our patterned paper here, and I'm going to do this like this, and this is not a continuation. I think I wanted it the other way around, but I goofed up. So these are going to go here. And then the other ones. And now we need to add our eyelets and our ribbon. So we've got 2 gold. Let me put my pen in my glue real quick. So punch the big hole in the center of each. And drop your eyelet in. And go ahead and set it. Okay, and the other one. Okay, now the ribbon. Need 2 pieces of ribbon. Trim it at an angle. And the other one. Okay, so there's the back of page set 4. There's the front side of page set 4, and now we're ready to move on to page set 5. So lay this here, and I'm going to grab page set 5 and what we're going to put on that. So we're going to make this one the same as page set 3. So I have all my pieces cut out this way. And remember, these are cut 1/8 of an inch narrow, smaller in the width, and 1/8 of an inch smaller in the height. So like this one here is cut at 6 3/8 by 7 7/8. So this is going to go here. And this was all assembled the same as we do for page set 3 did on the front. I'll just go over it real quick with you. Let's move the papers out of the way. So I already have this assembled. Got the pocket. We're going to set that aside. This goes on the inside. Okay. So we put our 4x6 tag flap that we scored on the 6-inch side on the bottom edge at 2. We attach that to the right side where the sleeve is. So we want our hinge here to the left, our sleeve to the right. So this is the front of page set 5. Then I added in a top flap here with a 1/2 inch and one here on the side like this. So it's going to go kind of like that. And we will put a magnet here. So let's go ahead and grab our magnet set. We need a plus and a minus. We just need one. Okay, so peel the backing off. Attach to the center of your back side of your flap. Metal to metal. Take the backing off. Close this down. And this is your flap that opens from the bottom up. So I'm going to close it down and open that up and add our tape. Okay. Now then, let's open this up here on the inside on the main section here. This is bigger piece. I'm putting the poinsettias with the snowflakes. So this piece is cut to 6 and looks like 6 3/4. Yeah, because that's going to be 7 inches. So it should be 6 7/8. Yeah. So we're going to put this in right here. And burnish that down. Then I'm going to go ahead and close this up like this. And I want this to kind of match with this other side. So I'm using this piece here. When this drops down, now I do want this piece here where we have the kind of like the shadows of trees in there, snow trees. On the front here. I'm going to open this up. This one's going to go right here, which goes with the poinsettias that's already in there. Okay, I'm going to open this one up. We're going to put this one right here. So I'm going to put this piece is cut at, I think that's 2 7/8. 2 7/8 by 6 3/8. So we'll put this on. Whoops. Kind of butterfingers today. Okay, there we go. Make sure the top is here. And we put the pattern piece onto our pocket. And now we're ready to put the pocket in. So put glue just on the bottom edge, bottom flap. And remember, it's got to go all the way over this edge to the fold edge here. And make sure it's straight. Okay, burnish that. And then my tape. All right, glue on the side flaps here. Close up your pocket. Line it up here. Make sure it's lined up. Now this one I cut to go over here. And I'm going to use the same pattern because I like the pinks with that instead of this. Okay, burnish that down. Okay, so this closes over it. Here we go, here. And then this flap goes down top of that. And now we need our eyelet and ribbon here. This should be our last one. Oops, I used a small hole, need a bigger hole. So I'm repunching that. Now drop my eyelet in and set it. And now the ribbon. So I did have plenty of ribbon. So I'll have a little bit maybe for the front cover of the album. So let's put this in and tie it. Okay, there's that. There's the page 5, the front of page 5. Flip it over. Got your hinge to the right, the pocket here to the left. The back of page set 5 is just one. It's going to be flat, so it's got one piece of patterned paper. So I'm going to use this one to kind of go with the inside cover of the album. And so this one is cut 6 7/8 by 7 7/8. So glue that down, and this is really okay. So put it down and we burnish it, and all our page sets are done as far as being assembled and patterned, and next they're ready to go into the cover. So I'm going to probably end part 4 with that, and we'll put the pages in our book in part 5 and finish the cover. So thanks everyone. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you know when part 5 is ready. Thanks, everyone. See you in part 5.